Hi. So today I just wanted to talk about things I wish I had known before I went to college and graduated high school. Um, it's September now, so most people have gone back to school already, but this is particularly geared towards, high school seniors and college sophomore aged people. Um, If you are unsure or unable to start college, don't feel bad. Don't feel like it's the end of the world. There are other options for you. And I just wanted to talk about a few of the ones I know now that I wish I had known before I went to school. So I grew up in Los Angeles, went to Crenshaw High School, graduated, went to culinary school in San Francisco, then ended up going to university in Rhode Island, and I incurred a lot of debt. A lot of things some things were beyond my control. Some things I just decided to, deal with whatever consequences came with this decision I felt was best at the time. But one thing that you can do, and this is especially for people who are trying to build wealth or to come out of poverty or to be the catalyst to change the momentum of your family's wealth. And I'm not talking about like just rich people stuff. I'm talking about like generational wealth building strategies. Because I grew up with, a single parent, disabled, not a lot of money, things like that. So a lot of decisions I made were based on the premise that I had to fend for myself and figure things out for myself. But, now I know better. So one thing I wanted to start with is getting a trade before you start school. Because the issue I had, I wanted to, when I graduated culinary school, or was it my bachelor's program? I can't remember which one. It may have been my bachelor's program. I was having a hard time finding a job. So I was like, well, let me just go back and get my cosmetology license. I was denied financial aid because I already had a bachelor's degree. So I would recommend that if you can find something that you can do, be it cosmetology, locksmith, welding, mechanics, plumbing, all these service industry jobs that make decent, even great money. Get certified. Find out what's transferable across state lines. So in case that you go to another state, make sure that, you still be able to practice whatever your trade is without, having to recertify. Or even if you just want to find out what the licensing rules and regulations are. So get a trade. That way, once you do get into college or you're in university, you have a way to support yourself. Work study is available to some people, not everyone. And even still, it doesn't pay a lot. So, imagine being able to work as a locksmith part-time on the side, or work as a plumber part-time on the side, or even just being able to do hair on the side and on your campus. That's a lot of money for you to be made, especially if you're certified and you're excellent at what you do. That's a lot of money to be made. And also, you could potentially earn enough to where you could offset some of your tuition needs. So say that you get so many grants, but you might have to pay 100, 200, maybe $500 a month over whatever your grants allowed to cover your tuition. So if you're a plumber whose minimum is $90, and you just go, fix a handle or turn off someone's water that doesn't turn off, that's extra. That's a lot of money to be made. Because my plumber came by and made $75 in 20 minutes, and I was pissed. But I'm not a hater though. Like, I low key wish I knew someone who could teach me some of these things, that I would definitely go and learn how to do it. So, like I said, one thing, find a trade, something to support yourself, so that once you do make the next step to go to college or university, you have a way to have some income, because you still got to eat, you still need shoes, you still need books, you still need equipment. If you're a culinary student like I was, knives get stolen, knives get lost. Chef coats get dirty, filthy dirty. And if you have a super strict chef, you can't have no spots. You got to buy another chef coat. That might run you $40-$50. So just having extra liquid cash for you. Another thing, I would say staying safe stateside, going to the JC, transferring once your GEs and everything are done, so you get your 2-year degree, you can transfer to a university. That's another way to save a lot of money and actually take the time to figure out what it is you exactly want to do. Some people don't know, some people think they know, some people actually know. So even with all of that, take some time, pace yourself. It's not a sprint, as they say. It's a marathon, so you need to, especially when we're so young, like 18 years old, that's super young to just be like, oh, I'm going to be a rocket scientist and that's all I want to do. But you might find out you like more artistic things. You might find out you want to teach. You might learn that rocket science is not for you. Even if you're smart enough to do it, you might not like it. So, take your time to figure out and decide what's best for you, and try not to worry about, what your parents may think or whoever the adults or elders in your life may think, because at the end of the day, this is the life you have to live, and you'd be very resentful if you live based on what they think is best for you. No one knows what's best for you other than you. So we talked about having a trade or income, taking a 2-year at home before you transfer to a university. Next, if you decide to enter the workforce, there's a lot of jobs that require a minimum high school diploma. If you're 18 years old, just graduated high school, you're not sure how or when you'll be able to find a job. Go to school. A lot of jobs and industries, you work for them for so long, they might offer tuition reimbursement. They might even fund your education. So, one thing I just learned about that I'm looking into myself is with the school district. If you work with them for 5 years, they help you get, they help pay for your education. So my next step will probably be a master's program if I take that route to get assistance with my tuition. So, and, honestly, it's not a bad thing if you just enter the workforce, because if you're diligent about working and saving towards your future, when the time comes around where you might figure out what you want to do, or you have the time to do it, you can either take off from work, or maybe have a good employer that can, work your hours and everything like that. And if you have some grants or whatever to go to school, you'll be able to support yourself. You'll have a foundation. So, it's not at the end of the day to go get a government job, work for the DMV, work for DPSS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, like a lot of these, and these are just off the top of my head that I know a lot of people are working at, that I went to school with. Those are options, and they're not horrible options, and no one's saying give up on your dreams. But like for someone who grew up like me, who had a lot of shit going on, traumatic shit going on, it helps to want to make a way for yourself that kind of gives you some security, some foundation. And financial security is huge when you're trying to gain some type of independence for yourself. So that's a huge thing. Also, once you finally get to school, find out what type of work incentives they may have. I ended up being a student assistant where I got $2,500 off, what was it, not a stipend, grant, $2,500 grant or scholarship rather, for working as a student assistant. And I got that job by being promoted from my work study position. So that's an option as well. And the number one thing I wish I had known was that I don't need credit to build wealth. A lot of people, it's a foreign concept. It's impossible or improbable to some people, but I've learned over the last 5 years or so, it's very possible, and it's very lucrative, and it's very foolproof. You know, things I grew up where the people around us who were helping to support us, I felt like in order to not have to be supported by them, I'd have to build credit the way they built credit and be able to finance myself in my life. That's not what it really takes. So if you're a young adult or student or whoever watching this and you want to gain some financial independence and stability to be able to depart from certain situations that you may be enduring, you don't need credit to do it. It helps, but it's always something that can pull the rug from under you and you'll land back where you don't want to be, which is exactly what's happened to me. Landed back exactly where I don't want to be. So the best thing to do is, and I'm going to put a link in the description box for this video. There's a book, or a company rather, called Brass Knuckle Finance. And this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I just believe in what this guy is teaching. He has a book called Do College Smarter, and then there's one called This Is Why You're Broke. And I had purchased the This Is Why You're Broke book and loaned it out to somebody who did not give it back, so I'm mad. I have to buy another one. But he talks about how to build wealth, and this is not no get rich quick type situation, especially coming from a child, 17, 18 years old, 18 years old when childhood ends. So you're just exiting your childhood, you're being thrown into adulthood. So everyone knows everything. Everyone knows what you should do, what you have to do, and all that other stuff. I'm just sharing from experience. I wish that I had known that building credit was not the only way to get to wealth. And, if you start early working and saving your money, living minimally, you guys could probably look up minimalist lifestyles where people talk about, decluttering their lives, not feeling the need to acquire so much shit that you don't need in life to live and to be happy. A lot of us coming out of poverty, we want everything we never had. And that happened to me when I was working in Florida. I was getting these decent checks and I was like, I'm going to do and buy different things that I want, that I'm able to get for myself. So I bought like some winter vests, probably I didn't do like huge obnoxious type of shopping because I wasn't even making that much money. But I took a trip back to San Francisco and I saw 2 purses that I liked and I bought them. It's like I did it. And in retrospect, I know not to buy nothing that I can't replace if something happens to it, because one of the purses ended up getting ripped up on accident. But and the person who did it felt so sorry, and she knew how expensive it was, and I couldn't even swear her because I knew I shouldn't even bought that, and like I can't replace it myself. So you tend to want to do for yourself the things like your parents may not have been able to do, or indulge in certain ways. But ideally that was like $200 I should have just saved for my ticket to come home, or anything else. So many things I could have did with $200 rather than spending it in San Francisco. But I enjoyed them, but at the same time I wish I had saved that $200. And so if you work, save your money, live in such a way that you don't incur crazy amounts of bills, It's like some people was like, well, if you just pay your bills on time and be responsible, you can manage your credit and build good credit. But if you don't have a job, or you don't have a way to bring in some money, some income, then that's out of your control at that point, in which your credit goes down the drain, in which you get collections bills, or you end up getting sued by a creditor like I did. So, and that was for dental work that I probably didn't even really need yet, but the dentist did such a good job in punking me and scaring me that, oh, you're going to be in pain and this, that, and the other. So, and that was care credit. I hope I don't get no problems, but care credit for dental work. Just let your tooth fall out. I'm pretty sure someone can pull it out for you. All these kids that take their braces off, they could go to dental school. They know how to do something. But don't do that. Don't go to nobody's garage and let them pull your teeth out. I'm joking. But on a serious note, like, I literally got sued by a creditor, and I didn't end up going to court, and we ended up settling, and I was able to pay it back. But at the same time, that's scary as hell. You're 20, how old was I? 23, 24, getting sued by a creditor. So, and that goes into, being able to have insurance and take care of yourself. There's a lot of challenges, but there's a way to circumnavigate it. And, hindsight is 2020. I wish I had $20. But yeah, so those are just a few things that I wish I had known before I went to college. And if you find yourself in a situation where you are pressured financially because you don't have the money to go, or you just trying to figure out how to make it work, if you don't have the money, do not sweat it. I was so sold on this college experience and making your dreams come true and following your passion. That shit doesn't mean shit if you don't have no fucking money. Yeah, you might be passionate about basket weaving, or you might be passionate about making some type of craft t-shirt stuff. But if you don't have a way to build that business and enjoy your passion and support yourself financially, it means nothing to follow your passion. So if it takes you 5 extra years before you can be where you really want to be, I say that outweighs the stress and different factors that may pop up that are beyond your control, that could potentially inhibit you like even longer than 5 years or so to follow your dreams and your passions. So I went to school for culinary arts. Then I went for a culinary nutrition degree. I have about 70 something $1,000 in debt, unemployed, hustling here and there, trying to promote my services, finding clientele. A lot of the only thing, as far as culinary is concerned, people, you really don't have to go to an expensive culinary school to get a quality culinary education. A lot of local colleges, JCs and things, are offering very good quality culinary education. A lot of stuff you can learn by working or finding a chef to apprentice with. And that goes for just about any field. If you find someone who does that, be an apprentice, be an assistant, on your spare time, if you can go work an event or do a few hours in their office with them, shadow them. There's a lot of learning to be had versus paying so much to go to school, and it doesn't serve you to be in debt and not be able to find a job. Because this contradictory thing of they want you to have X amount of experience and or X amount of education, but if you have one and not the other, they don't want you, and if you have the other and not the one, they don't want you. And so I found myself in like a like a sort of a purgatory where it's like I'm overqualified for a lot of jobs that are local to me that I could walk and just work. And then other jobs, I don't have enough experience or I don't have enough education for it. So it's like I just went to school, not for nothing, but it's just like, damn, I was told to go to college. You'll make so much money over so many years. This is the way to invest in your future by investing in your education to come out of poverty when I'm still in fucking poverty. So I don't know. But it's a work in progress. And this is not, and again, like I'm saying, this is not like a pity party negative woe is me video. This is like hindsight 2020. This is what some people, no one told me this shit. No one told me this shit before I decided to go to college and things like that. So if you have any questions, you can email me at askchefalex@gmail.com or put them in the comment box below. Like I said, I'll link the Brass Knuckle Finance books. There's ebooks for $5. There's paperbacks for $20. And, $5 isn't much even for kids. So if you're like a junior, senior, high school, or you're out of college, you got to spare $5. I encourage you to read the book. He has other books that teach you about how to make money on the side. I think it's the Side Hustle book is another good one to have. But I can't stress enough to get a trade. That way you can get financial aid. That's why I said do that first. You get the financial aid to help you pay for it. You might not even have to come out of pocket at all. Like if you're in LA, go to Trade Tech or whatever technical school is in your area within your state. You'll probably be able to get it without to go without paying. Get the trade, work and make some money, save your money. Don't go buying a whole bunch of stuff, going out all the time. Pace yourself. And there's time for all of that other stuff and special occasions that come up that would you'd be obliged to go and have fun or whatever. But and learn how to have fun for free. There's ways to have fun for free. But yeah, so it's the conclusion of my video. I just want to encourage all the college students and career youth and people to, find a way to make your goals happen. And you can do it without incurring crazy amounts of debt. So, till the next video. See you guys.